Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya al-mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Alhamdulillah, we continue our discussion of how we are going to implement Maqasid al-Shari'ah to bring this deen, Islam, to the highest level of success, peace and happiness in the 21st century. And today, I'll discuss the second aspect. That is, when we talk about the second aspect of this Maqasid Shari'ah is the respect of the human person. That means Haqq Nafs. So what does this constitute? The primary Maqasid is Haqq Nafs. That means we must respect. The secondary Maqasid is the, alright, Hajjiyat. The goals is what? The goals is basically respect for the human soul. Okay? Haqq Nafs and Haqq Ruh. So this we have explained in great detail in our Positive Islamic Psychology, PIP, of our four elements or four aspects ream that Allah has created within Ar-Ruh, Al-Qalb, Al-Akal and Al-Jasad, and the Nafs that is in the center of all these four realms of existence that Allah has given us. We must have that respect in a balanced life, which we have discussed very deep in this book, Positive Islamic Psychology. Inshallah, you will buy this and learn about this beautiful message of Positive Islamic Psychology that we are trying to bring to the world. Alright, so at the tertiary level will be, as mentioned earlier, this is spiritual. At the level of Tasniyat, the objectives is personal spiritual renewal. This is most important in the 21st century. I keep on repeating, we Muslims must move away from just basic fundamental idea of just the amal of Islam towards the ihsan, towards spiritual purification, towards realizing the grandeur and the purpose and meaning in life that Allah has blessed upon us. So in this aspect, our life will be filled with Iman and Islam, will be filled with Ihsan, will be filled with the love of Allah, and this whole ibadah will be focused on spiritual renewal towards the greater love, seeking the grace, mercy, forgiveness and from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The next level of Haqq Nafs, that is for the respect for human person, is peacekeeping and peacemaking. Very important now. Within the Muslim world, there is a lot of conflict. The conflict within the Muslim world you can see between, for example, in Yemen, where there is a conflict between the Saudi and the Yemeni Shia. We have to remove that, because if not, you'll be killing millions of people, unfortunately caught between the two opposing forces of political agenda. So we have to find a way of peace for the Yemeni people, so that whether they are Shia or whether they are Sunni Muslims in Yemen, they can be able to live in peace as brothers and sisters without the interference of the third party. Alright? So we have to avoid this whole thing of war, threatening another country, creating conflict within the Ummah, and also other conflicts. We are not alone in this conflict world. There is this conflict at, for example, the ethnic cleansing and genocide of the Rohingya people, which we must bring to the world. We must strive to help our Muslim brothers and sisters, the Rohingya, who are being killed, just like those people in the time of Fir'aun, where the Bani Israel were being killed by Fir'aun. The same thing is happening now. They're killing all the men, leaving the women to run across to Bangladesh. And just last week alone, more than 300,000 of them were removed from the village, and then their village are landmined to make them impossible to come back. This is pure and simple genocide and pure and simple textbook act of aggression and ethnic cleansing, which the whole human community must act against this evil military junta of Myanmar. So we have to do something about it peacefully, not aggressively, peacefully, until the Rohingya people can go back to their homeland and live in peace with other communities, other Buddhists in Myanmar, having achieved the best that they can. So it is important that we must have peacekeeping and peacemaking, and we must seek societal renewal to start. That means our society that we are renewing, the global society they are trying to renew through the basis of a balanced life based on spiritual, emotional, mental and physical balance and wellness within this framework as we are trying to develop. Inshallah, will be accepted by Muslims and will be accepted by non-Muslims, and we can live in peace. Alright? Then the next aspect of the secondary Hajjiyat goal is respect for life. That means this is very important. This is within doctrine of Maqasid Shari'ah, the doctrine of a just war. In certain circumstances, there's war. But however, this idea must be revised, because in the 21st century, a war will be a very destructive war. Now we have these limits of challenges, for example, between North Korea and Japan and South Korea and the US. A war that could be trigger a nuclear war. What will happen? Most probably the whole of North Korea will be bombed out to ashes, and the whole of South Korea will be bombed by North Korea to ashes. In this situation, within the framework of Maqasid Sharia, we must ban all wars. That means within this framework of Maqasid Sharia, we must fight and remove all wars and have this respect for life. And it's a duty to protect. The last aspect of this respect for human process is the respect for the unborn. How are we going to help the unborn so that they are born within families, not out of wedlock? Because we have, in many developed countries, 70% of the babies born are without fathers. How can they grow up to be normal children in a family unit if they are just being left alone, abandoned by their fathers, biological fathers, because of this whole idea of free sex? So we have to find a way in which we have to protect the unborn, and this rights is the very basis of Haqq and Nafs. We are talking about the second aspect of the Maqasid Sharia. Inshallah, I'll talk to you about the third and the fourth aspect as we go along in this discussion. So for you to understand this beauty of this deen, that we have a framework within the Maqasid al-Sharia, which all of you can participate. For what? To strive to make ourselves good as a Caliph of Allah, as His sincere servant, helping others to be good, making the world good, striving to achieve peace and happiness for all Allah goodly creatures, inshallah.